Okay, today in the mail came what I've been looking for. And, of course, this is something that is not common, okay, for people to buy. So somebody has created this expansion port, and the drivers were on CD-ROM. I don't know about you, but my new PC and my newer laptop uh, does not have a CD-ROM. So I was going to buy a USB CD-ROM until I realized, oh wait a minute, I have an old laptop. Okay, and of course that old laptop reminded me why I ended up getting a new temporary one. Okay, so I still have a temporary laptop, but to be honest, this PC is so reliable, and an $800 price tag. I'm really fortunate that I picked this particular one, and this is from PowerPC or CyberPC, whatever it's called, Cyber PowerPC, um, whatever it is. As a matter of fact, let's actually bring this up here. I don't think I don't think it'll actually tell me on this one. Maybe in system information. So yeah, I doubt it. Um, oh, it does. Sour Power PC. Good. Okay, so I didn't know if they actually put their information in the chipset. So good. So now today I actually got was not easy at all. Okay, the drivers worked on half of it, but did not work on the other. And trying to find other downloads like drivers in Windows 11 was not easy, but I did find it. Okay, and it was two drivers, and it literally brought my COM ports up. Okay, but and it's funny because I try to do Windows updates in the first place, and it comes up and says up to date. But it gives you no options for other updates. It's not really a cool thing because it gives you the illusion that there's no drivers for your devices, and that wasn't the case. It was there the whole time. Now, I don't know if I had to install, because obviously I had to take it from the CD-ROM and bring it over to the flash drive to bring it to this PC, which is why I need to use my old laptop. But nonetheless, they are working. So now what I have done is I have gone into Putty, okay, and I have created saved parameters for each. Notice that is COM2, and look at the speed, because remember we have that one switch, okay, which is on COM2, which is this one, where the speed has to be 115/200, okay, annoying as hell, okay, and let's load this one and see that's 9600 COM4. But the problem with this is I have to load Putty 4 separate times to load them up. But here's the cool thing, okay? This is not a USB to serial, okay? This, my friend, is a card, okay? That goes into my PCI slot, and on that card has two other ports, okay? See, what are those? Okay, so let's type this in. That's it right there. Okay? Alright? Okay, so there it is. So, okay, It is a PCI Express that has two COM ports, but the nice thing about it is they put an extra two uh, uh, set of pins for two more COM ports. Okay, which it comes with it. All right. Then they give you a CD-ROM driver, which is ridiculous, but still, hey, at least a piece of paper to tell me where I could download those drivers would have been nice. The fact that the CD-ROM didn't even work to get the drivers up and running for Windows 11, not cool, but Windows 11 was able to fix it with download drivers, so I'm good with that. All right. So yeah, it took a while, but I finally got it. Okay, so understand what this means for me. Okay, something that I've never even know I could have done. I just went on Amazon and searched for it. Okay, and I originally felt the two COM ports until I felt the four, and I was like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. So now, okay, the top row you can see is kind of leaning a little bit. That's because that is the sleeve coming off the card. It's not put in the slot and hard carded or hard installed on the card. On the board, from the card. That's why the lower level, okay, these two here, all right, they're solid, okay. Even though I have a screw at the top, it wobbles, okay. Obviously, not to mention the fact, okay, if I would have put this plate over on this side, it will be blocking for me to put another card in. This slot here, there is no card slot. So I had to wrap the cords all the way around coming off the board to go this way because that's not the way we wanted to go. Okay, the pins as they were going in, okay, as you see here, were going this way. Okay, all right, sorry, wrong shot. There we go. It's going this way. Okay, all right. So I had to bring them over on the other side instead of folding this way, which is a lot easier. But this gives me the ability, okay, to have these devices up, 4 of them at a time. And if I wanted to, I could always get another card if I wanted more than 4 devices. This is next level, guys. Now, the only thing that I need to change is to get secure CRT. All right, so I don't have to do this 4 times running putty. But who really cares? Because once it's there, it's there. Now, you're going to have your devices. I'm going to teach you something real quick. Okay, that they're going to log out. Okay, and come to this screen. Okay, and we can actually, stop that by. Come on, why? Really, Link? I never use that command. Actually, have I? Doesn't really matter. Okay, so, no exact timeout. And that'll stop it from going back to that screen ever. Meaning that I can now, if this is in my configuration, I can have all my windows up 24/7. Okay, never, ever, ever logging out of the console. And it doesn't really matter if I did. It doesn't matter if it did. All I have to do is hit enter. Okay, so it's not like it's like that much of a headache. I'm just saying that this gives me something that I've never had before in my 15 years in this field. I'm glad someone made this card. I'm very happy someone made it. Okay, because the reality is, people still use communication ports. Okay, not the norm. So why build them? Especially when you have cards like this. So for me, it did work, and I'm very happy. So now I can continue on with my studies, or I should say training/studies. Okay, you gotta understand that the average person does not do the things that I'm doing. Okay, as far as before I go through my CCIE security, I am literally creating another course. Okay, you could think of it as a CCNA course. To me, it's the basics of networking to a level of being able to be skilled enough to have a skill set instead of just saying, "Oh yeah, I read about that. Oh, I know that because theory, but never practice it." But nonetheless, regardless of what it is, all right, this is me going back to the basis and reviewing. Not most people do that. Most people will just say, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying most people will go back and say, okay, I'm not going back to that. I already know CCNA stuff. I'm a CCNP for God's sakes. Okay, or I'm a CCIE. I'm just gonna go right into security. Okay, this is my method of re-grabbing the basics. Okay, and that's my choice. Okay, I would love for you to be that type of person, but let me tell you something. All right, I am not kidding, guys. All right, part of me wants you to be this way, but part of me wants you to enjoy your life too, because at some point you got to realize that you can't be the father that's always there for the family and have a career. Dude, you got to choose one or the other. And if you choose both of them, dude, you know, it's not going to pan out the way you want to. Okay? All right? I'm telling you from life experience, you can't have one without the other. Okay? From a sense of you going mentally insane, but at the same time, all right, you're either every day you got to have a choice. Stay late to work on that project. Okay, answer the phone at 2:00 in the morning, okay, or spend time with your family. Now, let me. It does not mean you can be both, because I have been both and have successfully been both. Okay, but the bottom line is when I'm working 100-hour weeks, I'm working 100-hour weeks for my family. Okay, so I wouldn't wish this for my worst enemy. I mean, and that's the whole thing. So I would like you to be successful and be all you can be, but at the same time, if you're not happy, guys, what's the point? Okay? Alright? And the best conversation I had was a guy who owned a pizza restaurant that I used to go to when I was living in Virginia. And he was like, you know, Kyle, you know, I gotta, you know, we conversate from here, you know, here and there, but I gotta ask you, what's your ultimate goal? Because here's the reality, Kyle. If you are working so hard and not living the reason why you're doing this, it's pointless. So you gotta sit back and ask yourself, what do you really want to get out of this? Okay, and it stuck with me. It was one of those things that stuck with me, because at that point in my life, which I still am at that point in my life. Meaning that, you know, at that point, that's what I started doing, and I still do that today. And that is, I talk to business owners. I talk to businessmen. Okay? Their opinion matters to me. Okay? The person that bitches, because believe me, my best friend at one point, I can't classify him as a best friend. Alright? He would classify me as a best friend when he needed something. So, you know, that person classified, okay, every complaint that he ever had from the beginning of time that I can remember. And I just got tired of it after a while, because I started realizing his complaining wasn't real complaints. It was just him being judgmental for no reason. Just to create an illusion that he was better than all these so-called crooks and horrible people. Okay? Alright? And I got tired of it after a while. And I said, you know what? I always see you bitching, complaining, but I never see you getting up doing anything about it. Alright? I don't bitch about it because it doesn't affect the things I want to do on a day-to-day basis. Okay? So, and after that, seriously, we're talking about a 20-year friendship. After that argument, you know, it was not probably like 4 or 5 years later that I cut ties with him, because it was just the same old crap. Okay, not to mention the fact he was interfering with my business, and you know, everyone told me not to do it, to hire a friend, and of course, I did it, and I learned my lesson. So, and that's neither here or there. So, while I am doing this, the review part, you get the benefit. So I just want to throw that out there. So you can thank me, but it's me that should be thanking you. Okay, because without your responses, without your interaction, without without that, okay, this will be pointless, right? But have no illusions, guys. This is just switching we've done so far. Okay, all right. We're about to get into routing, and that's where the real wow cool stuff does. But doesn't mean that you can't do cool stuff with switching either. So nonetheless, that's it. I'll see you guys on the next one.